Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Texas Mortgage Boss Podcast. My name is James J. And today I am going to be joined by Realtor JC Torres. And he and I are going to discuss the three biggest lies about the home buying process. There's a lot of them. We're going to discuss three of them. Stay tuned. Hey, what's up, JC? How you doing, brother?
Hey, how you doing, James? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you today?
Great, great. It's Friday, can't complain. It's a beautiful day here in Houston, so looking forward to working today and have a little bit of fun later this afternoon.
Absolutely. So, speaking of fun, I know you've been having some fun. I saw you on the lake last week. We have to do another show completely about the lake and your team. You guys were having a good time.
Yes, yes. It was actually one of my team members here. His birthday was
Okay.
last week, and I'm very big about treating people that work hard to have
Yes,
some fun too as well.
absolutely. Yeah. So today we are going to talk about a really interesting topic, which, we came down with three biggest lies slash misconceptions or myths about the home buying process. But you and I both know there's way more than three. But, we've kind of come up with what we feel is maybe the top three things that people, are being either misunderstand or lies that are out there about the home buying process. So, but before we get into that, let's let people kind of get a little context about who you are, your background, how long you've been an agent, and so forth. Because you do a lot of business here in Houston. You're one of the best agents that I know. So, give the people a little background about yourself.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you so much, James. Yeah, just real quick about me is I started back in 2003, and originally I was a property manager on an apartment complex, and a little bit after that I got my license, and went work for a home builder for a few years. So
Yeah.
that was great. I really enjoyed that concept of the home builder. And after that, I decided to open my own team. So at one time we had a good sized team, and ever since then I've just been doing real estate and been getting myself in different avenues. Is
Yeah.
done a little bit of flipping myself also as well. I'm actually building a fourplex right now in Kima. So I work with some
Okay.
investors. So a little bit of everything in real estate. I truly enjoy it. I enjoy
Yeah.
helping first-time buyers. Has opened too many doors for a lot of things. So the whole thing is just helping people out and giving them what they want, and you eventually get what you want.
Yeah. One of the things I love about you guys is that the training. I saw you guys were doing some training with Grant Cardone, which we could have a whole conversation just about that alone. But I love people that do that type of training because it tells me that you're not content, right? Because it's real people. It's real easy for people to get in this business and just get a license and they've had it for years and never do anything other than CE, right? We have to do the CE training. Even for me on the mortgage
Correct.
side, you have to do it. But the additional stuff that you and your team are doing, I love it. Like I said, I'm a Grant Cardone guy. Love the marketing that he does and how he listen, like him or not, the guy knows what he's doing. Like him or not.
Yeah, correct.
So
Yeah, I got the pleasure of meeting him a while back.
yeah, I saw that. I saw that picture with you and Grant. So at one point, I'm sure I'll get a chance to meet him because I'll be going to some of these events. But yeah, so let's get into the topic for today, man. So again, you've been in this game for a while, so it's probably very challenging to narrow this down to just three. But let's give the what you feel are maybe top three as far as biggest lies about the first time buyer process or you know what, really just the buying process, honestly, in general. Because although we say first time buyers, there are people that have not purchased a house in years. Maybe they bought one long time ago, and they're back in the market now. If you bought a house 5, 10, or longer years ago, it's not the same process. It's not the same. So let's start with number one, as far as, and these are not in any necessarily particular order, by the way, guys. So, but let's start with number one.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, one of the things that I run into is people have no clue how much money they need to bring to the table.
Yeah.
So one of the times they'll say, how much money do I need to really bring at the end of the day? Well, of course, there's always going to be closing costs. And the down payment, people think it is 20% for some reason. I don't know whether you get the 20% or they just, it's been marked on them for 20%, but there is other ways, there's first time buyer programs where, you can get down payment assistance. The minimum down is 3.5 for the FHA or conventional 5%. Those programs are out there. And there's
Yeah.
other help from the city as well that you can get programs from the city as well. So all kinds of programs that you can come in and get help with getting into a house. But one that I hear a lot is that, do I need 20% to get into a house? I was like, no, you don't.
No, and I hear that all the time as well. And I think part of it is just because people hear 20% because they think mortgage insurance. But it's interesting how that lie or this myth about 20%, how it's because this has gone on for years.
Correct.
And people just think that 20%, it's like, no, 20% if you don't want to pay mortgage insurance and you can get a conventional loan. But aside from that, it is weird to me, honestly, that we still have people that think they need 20%. So bottom line is you do not need 20%. Oftentimes, you can get in if you're using some type of assistance programs or things like that, where, essentially you might be able to even get in with almost no money out of your pocket. So that is a great one to start with. So what's number two, JC, on your list?
Yeah, another one that I see a lot is that credit is like a lot of people think you have to have perfect credit just to get into a house, like a 700 credit score or 750. So even somebody to even give me a chance to even talk to me or even look at my application. So
Yeah.
nowadays, there's ever since COVID happened, things got a little strict, but now they have loosened up. So nowadays, a 600, 580 credit score, closing that, there's ways to maneuver around the credit. There's a good loan officer will help you determine
Yep.
what you need to pay off, the DTI, and so forth. Sometimes you might be a little have a little bit more on a credit card or have a car that is throwing the
Right.
numbers off. So sometimes they'll guide you to help get the credit up, and it might be a couple points where you need to get to, so get into a good loan. So that's one of the things that people always think, I have to have great credit in order to get the best out of it. True. But it can get you into a house in the meantime, and then later down the road refinance, but at least gets you in the door.
Yeah, that's another one very similar to the down payment amount, where people think, if they're not at so I have people think, if they're not at 700, they can't get a house. It's like, no, you can get the reality is this, JC. Most people that buy homes, they don't have 700 plus credit score. They
Correct.
don't. Most people are anywhere in that lower 600 to higher 600 range. These are the statistics overall speaking. So yes, you can get a loan. The 580, if you're in that under 600, yes, you can absolutely get a loan. It may cost you a little bit more to do it, but I'm all about getting people into ownership. So if you're at a 590 and you got to pay a little bit more to get that loan, it's still better than you renting. Like, renting sucks, and I'll continue to say it. It sucks. You're not building, I tell people all the time, they say, listen, you're building wealth whether you're renting or not. Just when you're renting, you're building the wealth for somebody else. Like,
Yeah.
whose wealth do you want to build? Yours or your landlord's? Because that's what you're doing. Whether you're in a house or an apartment, you are building wealth for somebody else. And there's always going to be situations where people have to rent. I understand that, right? I get it.
Correct.
But for most people, they need to be striving. There's something about owning a home that just, it changes how you work. It changes everything when it's yours. So anyway, yeah, six. You don't have to have a seven or a 740 or 720 to get a home. You can be in that low 600, and there's a lot of different things that lenders can do to help somebody if they're in a lower credit score, to quickly boost the score up. So,
Correct.
if you got a good lender, good loan officer that you're working with, they should know what they can do to be able to help you get up there quickly. So, great one as well, JC. So what's number three on our list today?
Another one that I get a lot, James, is the job. It's like some people think that they have to have a job for a certain amount of time. And
Mhm.
there's I had people call me, hey, I haven't been in my job 2 years, so I can't buy a house. Well, that's not necessarily true. You know,
Yeah,
sometimes there's programs out there. If you're like a student or something like that, you graduating from college and then
yeah,
you're going into a field that is going to be where you were, you know, studying. So
right.
there's
Yep,
chances that you're going to get the loan. So a lot of that people are, I don't know where they get this idea. I have to be on the job 2 years in order to get a house. So that's very big.
yeah,
And so a good loan officer will tell you, hey, where have you been in the last 2 years? Have you been studying nursing? So now if you go to nursing, studying nursing, and then you go be a mechanic or whatever the case is, it's going to be a different
yep,
story. But there's ways around that. So that's
yep,
one of the things that I get a lot. I was like, oh man, I'm not there in 2 years. So at the end of the
yep.
day, it's good to be in a job for 2 years because that's going to help a lot, but you don't have to be on it.
Correct. And this is another great one. Even if you were a homemaker, right? So I had a situation recently where I had a lady who just started her job 8 months ago, right? 8 months ago. She hadn't worked in the States before that. She was working in a different country for about 7 years.
Wow.
So, but she was a homemaker. She was raising kids during that time, and we got her done. We got the loan done because if you're a homemaker, and that is a full time job, if you, it's a full time job if that's what you do, and it's
It
a
is.
good job, very important job. But listen, if you're a homemaker and then you go into the workforce, it's okay. And a lot of times we can still get you a lender can get you approved. So that is another really really good one. And a 2 year thing, I understand because normally lenders are going to want 2 years. They ask for it. But if there's situations like you mentioned, the school one, because I was going to get to that one spot on. If you've been in school for a year and then you just got into the workforce, you can probably qualify for a loan, right? You don't have to be on that job for 2 years. So there's several situations where that 2 year mark does not apply to your situation. So, but I understand why people think that because normally lenders are going to look for, okay, have you been there 2 years? If you haven't, that does not automatically disqualify you from getting a mortgage. So another really, really, really great tip. But yeah, that situation it was pretty unique. Well, with the client that I had, 7 years she was a homemaker for 7 years and in a
Wow.
different country.
Oh,
In a
wow.
different country.
Wow.
So it took a little work
Of
to
course.
connect the dots, but ultimately, she got into her home, and
Yeah.
so you are spot on with that because that is a very big lie. I would say a lie, but it's a misconception for sure about getting a home that you have to be there 2 years because you necessarily don't have to be. Now we have to look at 2 years. Every lender will look at 2 year history, but it doesn't necessarily have to be job history all the way, right? The only time
Correct.
that comes up necessarily is maybe if you're changing
Correct.
careers, that's where we run into a challenge, or any lender is going to run into a challenge where you're changing complete
Correct.
opposite direction with your career within the last 2 years. That might be a little bit of a challenge, but anyway, very, very, very good tips. So, listen, guys. So that is JC narrowed it down to three. There's more. There is definitely more than three. So you need to reach out to JC. You want to know more about some of the misconceptions, some of the lies that are out there about getting into a home. Reach out to JC. JC, what is the best way for people to reach you?
Yeah, most definitely. My number is at 281-616-5202. And also you can come out to our website as Houston Home Specials with an S.com. Houston Home Specials.com. So that's a way to reach us, and we'll be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Awesome. So, yes, guys, please, you've got more questions about buying. JC has been doing this for a while. Also, if you're an investor, because I know you do with some investors a lot, JC is a great resource for this, guys. If you are an investor, you are looking to find out about investment property. JC is awesome. He can help you with this. But if you are a first time buyer, great resource as well. Reach out to him if you got more questions. Again, there are more than three misconceptions slash lies about buying a home, guys. Reach out to JC. He's a great, great realtor. He knows his stuff, and he's continuing to sharpen the axe. Right? You are not like a lot of these realtors that get licensed and they never do any training for
Oh, no.
years, other than what we are required. And the reality is, if they weren't required to do CE, they wouldn't do it. Realtors wouldn't do it. Um, so, You thank goodness that the state understands they got to force realtors to do training, and even for me on the mortgage side, right? We have to do training too. Otherwise, a lot of
Yes,
people wouldn't even do it. So, but I love the fact that you are constantly getting better, doing training outside of what's required. So that that Grant Cardone training was very impressive. Like I said, I'm a huge guy, a huge Grant guy as well. So anyway, guys, reach out to JC. All his information is also at the bottom of the screen there. Go check him out. You're on social media as well, right? So
yes, sir.
at Holmes, the underscore by underscore JC on Instagram, and you're on Facebook as well. I'm assuming JC. We
Correct.
can just yeah. So if they look up JC Torres
Yes.
Facebook, you'll be able to find him. So you guys have every way to contact JC. So make sure you go do it. Also, go check out Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, guys. Leave us a review. It helps. Give us some feedback on the show, the channel, and let us know what you want to hear, and we'll get it on. All right. So JC, I appreciate you, brother. Take care. Reach out to JC, guys. All right.
Thank you,
See you.
James. Have a blessed day. Okay.
My
Thank you
pleasure,
so much.
brother. You guys take care. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.
Thank you, sir.